If there's something that we learned last month that was pretty shocking to most of the nation, is that Tacoma Police Department didn't have a lot of body cams, only about 80 of them. And the only other thing that we learned is none of their police cruisers have dash cams. None of them. And because of that, there are a lot of questions on what really happened on 9th in downtown during the sideshow where two people were hit, one very, very seriously injured by police officers. We have analyzed that story and have videos. You can go back to malcontentnews.com. You can review the content that we have over there. But the story basically told by the police officer doesn't fully add up when you watch all of the available videos that are out there. Well, Tacoma Police announced today that by Sunday, over 250 of their officers will have body cams. According to Lieutenant Chris Travis, he said, after the events that occurred at 9th and Pacific, and listening to both our community and city managers and city officials, we wanted to get those cameras out as rapidly as we could in the field. They originally had planned to get them out by the end of March. They're basically going to be out by the end of this week. We looked at body-worn cameras a couple of different times in our history. I think now is the time, with everything going on in today's society, now is the time to take a step forward, which is what we've done. Tacoma Police are still considering whether they want to install dash cams in the dash cam cameras into their police cruisers before everybody freaks out and goes, I could buy a dash cam for $30 on Amazon. Do understand it's not that simple for the police because of the way that the cameras have to be tamper resistant. They have to have synchronized timers. A lot of the dash cams that are in police cruisers are set up that they will automatically turn on if a police officer, say, turns on their lights or sirens. So no, it's not as simple as like just buying a couple of $130 dash cams on Amazon. Jennifer, I'll kick it over to you to unpack this.
Yeah, it's a lot to unpack. I mean, it's a good thing that they're, going ahead, and I feel like, you talk about how we should give credit where credit is due. And I feel like they're taking a little bit of accountability by, taking the extra step to make sure they're better outfitted with body cams and dash cams. But then it goes back to are they going to ensure that they're properly trained to use them and keep them turned on at all times? Or are we going to see the same repetitive issues where officers are turning off body cams and dash cams to avoid accountability?
Well, and part of what the Tacoma Police Department said is they were accelerating the training for the proper use of the cameras. They further went on to say that it sounds like anybody in the department who is out on the street and could potentially interact with a fellow human will have one of these cameras. So we'll have to wait and see what happens down in Tacoma, but we can call it progress. I give a point, right? Yeah. So I'm going to give 1 point here. By the way, we're coming up on 1 year, Tacoma. I know you punted on the investigation in part because the whole thing stinks to high heaven. And then we learned that Pierce County was involved in what happened with Manny Ellis. Mm-hmm. So we've punted it over to the state. But yeah, Tacoma residents, we're coming up on a year since Manny Ellis said, I can't breathe, no charges. If I were a betting man, I know what they're waiting for. And what they're waiting for is everyone to forget about this story. Don't forget about Manny Ellis.